Okay, now we're going to take the two pieces of our mask that we've sewn so far and we're going to join them together. Having turned the front or longer piece of our mask right side out so we can see the fabric that we choose to look at, and remembering that the curve is the top and the straightaway is the bottom, we're going to go ahead and place the inside of the mask that we've made so that the right sides are touching. The pretty sides are on the inside. And we're going to go ahead and match up the top first. So I'm going to line up my seam with my seam, point with my point, and kind of allow my fingers to guide the excess down the side. I'm going to fit that under the machine, and I'm going to return my needle to the rightmost position. For me, it's this push button. For you, it may be a knob. And then I'm going to set my foot down. This is the first of our back stitches. So I'm going to start by going forward and then reverse to help keep my stitches in place, and then travel the rest of the way down the mask, holding with my hand here at the point and making certain I don't accidentally sew over the other side of it by tucking it under. So my machine has this reverse button here. You might have a knob or a lever. You'll need to find that before you get started with this step. So we're going to go ahead and sew forward, and then we're going to sew backwards, and then we're going to go forwards again, and then we're going to move our foot, keeping the fabric even with the edge of our machine, foot rather, and then you're going to sew all the way along. Now some people have told me they get stuck at this point here. If that's the case, with your needle in the down position so that it's pinning your fabric in place, you can go ahead and lift your foot and actually turn the mask and set it back down so that you're sewing straight again. As you get going, that curve will be easier to handle. But if that's what helps you right now to make it so that it's not frustrating for you, then that is the best thing to do. As we reach the end here, remember the end is where these two pieces overlap. You're going to go ahead and reverse and then pick up your piece and remove it from the machine. We're going to sew the same seam along the bottom portion here and do it in fairly similar manner. The only thing that's different is as we sew this portion, and this will save you time trying to wire the nose piece, you're going to want to keep the seam allowance facing the same direction. So I've sewn it facing down up the mask here, and so I'm going to sew it down facing up the mask here as well. You'll see when I get to that portion, I'm going to just double check that the center is still aligned. It pretty much does keep itself where it's supposed to be. And then I will be setting my foot down. I'm setting it down at the edge of the top of the material, you notice, not the edge of the bottom of the material. You want to make sure these are sewn together all the way. If you accidentally sew off the side of your fabric, the two pieces won't be joined together. So at this time I'm going to tuck that seam forward using my hand to help guide it under the foot of the machine. Once it's under the foot, it's pretty much there. So it's going to be in place. I'm going to go ahead and sew down and then reverse to keep my stitches in place at the edge. Lifting my needle, removing my piece from the machine, and we are done with this step.